Chapter 1. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Through the morning mist, sunlight streams into an attic studio in Manhattan's Lower East Side. Before an easel, a charming young man is absorbed in painting a scene from his imagination. The canvas is quickly taking shape as a war scene. A portal of blue light hovers above a building, ant-like monster soldiers wreak havoc, and colossal battleships fill the sky. Bro! Breakfast's ready, come on down. Jessica's voice calls from below. Okay, be right there. Ye Li replies, with a final brushstroke. He covers the painting with a cloth. The New York War hasn't happened yet, so he figures it's best to keep this whimsical creation under wraps for now. Ye Li is a time traveler. Based on the information he's gathered about Stark Industries and the Osborn Group, he's pretty sure he's landed in the Marvel Universe. Realizing he's just an ordinary guy, he's decided to keep a low profile, saving the world. That's what superheroes are for. He'll pass, but Ye Li isn't exactly a nobody. He's more like a minor character with a name. His neighbor to the left is George Stacy, the New York City Police Commissioner. George has a daughter, Gwen Stacy, who's a few years younger than Ye Li. They've been close since she was a kid. And the neighbor to the right? Well, that's Ben Parker, Aunt May, and Peter Parker. Yep, Spider-Man himself. Ye Li never imagined that a character he loved from his past life would be running around behind him as a kid. And that's not all. The girl who called him down for breakfast, Jessica Ye, whose real name is Jessica Campbell. She's Gwen's high school classmate and friend, and she lost her whole family in a car accident. Ye Li, after racking his brains, took her in as a sister. Later, he realized that Jessica's life script seemed awfully familiar. Jessica Jones, the female knight. Talk about stacking the deck. As everyone knows, the survival rate for superhero relatives and friends isn't great. But Ye Li has somehow managed to survive this long. Maybe it's because Peter and Jessica haven't taken on their superhero identities yet. Downstairs, Ye Li finds Jessica and Gwen already at the table. Both are young and beautiful in casual clothes, with faces as delicate as illustrations, cute and sexy. Jessica has long black hair, while Gwen rocks short, blonde, shoulder-length locks. The contrast between the black-haired and blonde beauty is striking. Hey Gwen, good to see you. Ye Li greets. Gwen winks playfully. The Chinese breakfast you taught Jessica to make is amazing. She's obviously here for the food. Li, sit here. Jessica smiles, pulling out a chair between herself and Gwen. It's a spot they've saved just for him. The little details say it all. Jessica, it's Li, not Li. Ye Li sits down, gives each of the girls a soup dumpling, and teases Jessica. We've been together for so long, I'll be sad if you can't even say my name right. Ugh, Chinese pronunciation is so hard. Jessica cutely curls her tongue and tries again. Li. Li. Li, Gwen says effortlessly. Hey Gwen, your pronunciation is so good. Jessica says, surprised. Gwen smiles and explains, I've been learning Chinese recently. Oh, that's tough. Your brother teaches me sometimes, but I still can't speak standard Chinese. Jessica picked up cooking Chinese food quickly, but she doesn't seem to have a knack for the language. You can learn Pinyin first. I'll recommend a website. Gwen pulls out her phone, enters an address, and leans over to show Jessica. Here, check it out. Her slim figure presses against Ye Li's side. The two girls chat. Ye Li is used to the casual contact by now, her arms practically sandwiching him. He chimes in every now and then. As the saying goes, great company and great food. In this pleasant atmosphere, his appetite is even better than usual. He quickly polishes off a drawer of steamed buns and a bowl of egg drop soup. Huh. OMG, Li, look at this. Jessica exclaims. She's been scrolling through her phone, and a notification caught her eye. She puts the phone on the table in front of Ye Li to share. A superhero. So cool. The screen shows a news report. The headline reads Spider-Man, and it includes a photo. Ye Li is confused. Peter's already made his debut? And why is the color wrong? He taps on the photo and zooms in with 2 fingers, then he's a little dumbfounded. the Spider-Man in the photo has a noticeably curvy figure, he's wearing a black and white suit mixed with purple, the suit also has a white hood attached, Gwen Spider-Man. No wonder Gwen has blonde hair, he just knew something felt off, he never expected Gwen to be like this. Chapter 2. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Feeling a mix of emotions, Ye Li turned to Gwen, wanting to see her reaction, but the second he turned, something soft blocked his view. Jessica and Gwen were standing, both leaning over their phones, reading reports. Ye Li was the only one sitting, so naturally, his head collided with, well, you get the idea. It's okay, really, Gwen said. I know you didn't mean to. Gwen's face was flushed, and she instinctively covered her chest, she's too nice, Ye Li thought. I didn't even apologize yet. He was speechless, since Gwen's Spider-Woman, she must have spider sense, so, she definitely knew I wasn't doing it on purpose, still, her shy look was pretty cute, he was enjoying the moment when a cold voice cut through his thoughts, extraordinary relationship system loaded, a system, Ye Li kept his face neutral, not wanting to overreact. As a time traveler, a late arriving system was practically a cliché. He quickly processed the information. To activate tasks, he needed to achieve the status of an extraordinary relationship user. This meant having a significant bond with a superhero, like Pepper Potts with Iron Man, Ned with Spider-Man, or even Uncle Ben, who inspired Peter Parker's heroic path. Basically, you had to be someone important in a superhero's life. Once designated a related user, the system would trigger a superhero name, related user task, with random objectives tied to the superhero's inner thoughts. Completing these tasks earned him rewards, so, the system wants me to build relationships with superheroes to get stronger, luckily, his existing connection with Jessica and Gwen already fulfilled that requirement. Now, he just needed to trigger a mission. Deliberately. What happened, Gwen? Jessica asked, looking up from her phone. She'd been absorbed in her reports and missed the close encounter. Gwen casually lowered her hand. Li just bumped into me by accident. Anyway, she quickly changed the subject. Jessica, are you into Ghost Spider? Yes. I think she's awesome. Jessica held up a picture of Ghost Spider next to her face, winking. Don't you think so? Gwen struggled to suppress a smile. Besides being awesome, Jessica, anything else? Oh. Well, she has a great figure. Jessica eyed Gwen up and down. Maybe even a little better than yours, Gwen. Ye Li saw Gwen's face twitching, obviously holding back a reaction, there's something special about hearing someone compliment you without realizing it's you, Li, what about you? Gwen asked, turning her bright eyes to him. What do you think of Ghost Spider? Praise me, she was thinking, the new superhero was eager to hear what her childhood friend thought, oh, you want me to praise you, they were definitely on the same wavelength. I think you're in better shape, Gwen, Ye Li said. Li, what are you talking about? That's embarrassing. Gwen's ears turned red, that wasn't the kind of praise she was looking for, even if she did appreciate it. Ye Li feigned innocence. You asked me what I think. Isn't there anything else? Gwen pressed, reluctantly, newbie benefit triggered, system will select 2 nearby superhero templates to copy and fuse. Upon completion, you will acquire the corresponding abilities. Newbie benefits, Ye Li, about to answer Gwen, froze, the 2 closest superheroes must be Gwen and Jessica, sure enough, the system announced, Jessica Ye, female knight, selected. Extraordinary template copying, Gwen Stacy, Ghost Spider, selected. Extraordinary template copying. Li. You spaced out, Gwen said, concerned. Is it that hard to think of something? Oh. Ye Li snapped back to reality. Well. Ghost Spider uses her powers to help the weak. I think that's very good and very great, how could it not be great? The amazing Miss Gwen is giving her powers to a weak person like me, Very great. Gwen was taken aback, she mostly used her powers to fight street-level crime, initially just testing her abilities. Of course, her upbringing from her police chief father played a role too, but she hadn't expectedly to see her as, so sublime. Is that what you really think, Li? Gwen felt both embarrassed and strangely happy. Jessica shook her hand thoughtfully. Female Knight Extraordinary Template Copy Completed. Ghost Spider Extraordinary Template Copy Completed. Initiating Fusion. Loading Newbie Extraordinary Template, Night Spider. Acquired Extraordinary Abilities, Female Knight Level Physical Enhancement. Acquired Extraordinary Abilities, Spider-Man Level Physical Enhancement. Acquired Extraordinary Abilities, Flight. Acquired Extraordinary Abilities, Spider Sense. Acquired Extraordinary Abilities, Electrostatic Adhesion. Bonus. Night Spider Suit, Super Defense, Self-Repair, Absolute Concealment, Information State Isolation. Includes research knowledge. Related to web shooters. Please review template note. Physical enhancement abilities will be geometrically superimposed, but the impact of lower-level physical enhancement on higher-level physical enhancement abilities will be reduced. The greater the difference in power levels, the lower the impact. Chapter 3. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Strength surged. It coursed through every inch of my body, making me feel reborn. A sleek, black bracelet materialized on Ye Li's wrist. This was the dormant Night Spider suit, and in his mind, he now possessed complete knowledge of spiderweb shooter technology. He didn't think he'd need it though. He could take to the skies anytime he wanted. Suddenly, Gwen clutched her chest. A strange tremor had just passed through her. Gwen, you okay? Jessica noticed her distress. Just had a weird palpitation, Gwen replied, frowning. You feeling sick? Jessica asked, concerned. She nudged Ye Li. Hey, don't just stand there. Help her. Ye Li gently pulled Gwen down to sit, wondering to himself, could this be because I have spider sense too? Did she pick up on that? He asked softly. Gwen, should we get you checked out? I can drive you to Presbyterian Hospital. Dr. Strange is a friend of mine. We could get you in right away. Well. Gwen hesitated. She thought about how she'd gotten her powers. It had been just a short time ago during a summer internship at Oscorp. She had wandered into a lab full of spiders and was accidentally bitten. After a hasty retreat, she discovered she had extraordinary abilities. Now, she couldn't help but wonder if something was actually wrong with her. Ye Li noticed Gwen's unease. A quick checkup at the hospital might be the best thing for her peace of mind, so, he scooped her up in his arms, bridal style. Let's go. No arguments. Hey, Li, I'm fine, you really don't have to do this, Gwen protested, half laughing. The powerful superhero, Ghost Spider, was being treated like a fragile patient by a regular guy, and somehow, that made her happy. Presbyterian Hospital, a renowned New York City institution. A custom car, sleeker than any sports car, idled out front. Ye Li, Gwen, and Jessica piled out. To be honest, coming all the way here for a simple physical felt like overusing his connections, but who was he to argue with his well-connected nature? Do we have an appointment, bro? Don't need one, Jessica. Ye Li led the two girls directly into a specific department. The staff seemed to recognize him and didn't bat an eye. Well, if it isn't the great artist. What brings you in? Papercut mishap. Inside the department, a doctor with a neatly trimmed beard greeted Ye Li. It was Stephen Strange, top surgeon and future Sorcerer Supreme. His ego was just as big as Stark's. Ye Li was on friendly terms with him, so he took a seat. Cut the chatter, Stephen. I thought I sent you a text. Already taken care of. Had my staff prep everything. Strange slid a piece of paper across the table. Here's the form. Just need some basic info. Ye Li handed it to Jessica. You take Gwen to get checked out. I'll catch up with Dr. Strange. Jessica snatched the form, grumbling. What a waste of a chance to hang with a man. You're so clueless, Li. Jessica. Gwen blushed and pulled her away. Ye Li watched the two girls leave, sighing. Instead of hanging with the girls, he decided to stick around with Stephen. he wanted to see if he could trigger some kind of side mission from Steven, maybe even get a Sorcerer Supreme template as a reward. You know, Yi, I'm on the clock here. Not exactly a chat service. Even with the pretense, the two started chatting. I drove by Sunnyvale Hall last week to pick up a painting, but the gate was locked. Wait, you don't live there anymore? If you're strapped for cash, I can help you out. Just paint me a portrait. You think I'm hurting for money? Yi Li rolled his eyes. Besides, I only paint portraits of beautiful women. So, forget about it. Painting nudes on those beauties, huh? Strange shrugged. He poured 2 coffees from the machine and set them on the table. Sometimes I question your morals, Yi. For the sake of this cup of coffee, I won't argue with you. Yi Li stirred his coffee with a spoon. Strange followed. So, why did you move out? Even I was drawn to the location of Sunnyvale Manor, Yi. Li replied, it was too isolated out there. I still liked the original place, so I moved back to the Lower East Side from the rich area. But hey, if you want, I can rent it to you temporarily. And if I bring a girl back, you'll tell me to kick rocks, right? Spot on, Steven, but no prize. Strange glanced in the direction Jessica and Gwen had gone. I'm betting you moved back to the Lower East Side because of those 2 girls. Yi Li couldn't deny it. Maybe. Are they of age? Yi, I won't cover for you. Chapter 4. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yi Li and Strange just traded playful insults. With Strange's kind of money, most people wouldn't need to bother him for medical advice or surgery. So, they just shot the breeze for a while, but Yi Li was running out of things to say, and the system still wasn't doing anything. Could it be because Strange wasn't the Sorcerer Supreme yet? Yi Li, Strange asked, typing data into his computer. What are you expecting? Yi Li said, Steven, thinking about becoming a shrink lately. Nah, I can't stand those phony head shrinkers, Strange said, hitting enter. Just noticed you were zoning out. Your girl checked out great, super healthy, even strong. She's pretty fit. You should hit the gym yourself, or you won't be able to keep up with young girls. I'm plenty strong, Steven. Yi Li stood up, ready to go. Before leaving, he reminded him, drive safe. Strange waved him off. You always say that, like a worried mom. Whatever, suit yourself. All good, Gwen, you're in top shape. Jessica said, waving the test results excitedly. Yeah, Jess, I saw, Gwen said, smiling, relieved. Leaving the hospital, Gwen saw Yi Li waiting by the car and walked over. Yi Li, leaning against the car, watched the radiant girl approaching. She closed her eyes and gently kissed his cheek. Thanks, Li. Gwen. Yi Li stroked her soft blonde hair. Something's been bugging you lately, hasn't it? Just a little confused about some stuff. Gwen tilted her head. But the problem's solved, she said, leaning into his palm. That's good. Yi Li smiled and pulled her close. They embraced. Ugh, Jessica groaned. Get a room. Jessica pretended to cover her eyes, but peeked through her fingers. Finally, Gwen broke away, not wanting Yi Li to get winded. That felt good, Li. She blushed and stuck out her tongue playfully, looking happy. Yi Li thought with regret, I could have kept going. Buzzing. Spider sense. Danger. Yi Li reacted faster than Gwen and tackled her to the ground. A figure with metal wings flew past where they'd been standing. Sparks flew as the car got scratched before the figure crashed nearby. Luckily, Yi Li had anticipated the dangers of New York and had his car reinforced. Now, it only had a scratch, nothing serious. Gwen, still in his arms, touched her head, confused. Why didn't my spider sense go off? Am I losing it? Yi Li looked at the downed Birdman and quickly identified him. Adrian Toombs, a former engineer framed by corporate greed, became a criminal known as the Vulture using his homemade flight suit. It didn't look like a malfunction, but like he'd been blasted out of the sky. But Gwen was right here, so which superhero did that? Yi Li glanced toward the building the Vulture had come from. Through a broken window, he saw a muscular bald man in a suit turning away. "Get back, Gwen. You okay? You scared me half to death." Jessica ran over. Gwen snapped out of it. "We're fine, Jess, thanks to Li." Ye Li whispered in Gwen's ear, "Gwen, we should get out of here." "Yeah, let me get up first." Gwen looked at the vulture taking off again, I'm supposed to be the one protecting Li, she puffed out her cheek, once I'm in my suit, that flying jerk is going down, Kingpin, the vulture, ignoring the two he nearly killed, roared toward the building, using his wing thrusters, he flew back inside. Ye Li narrowed his eyes, vulture, Kingpin, that night, on a skyscraper, a dark hero stood, cape billowing in the wind. Ye Li, in his night spider suit, the night spider suit was colored like the Venom spider suit but had a hooded windbreaker. It looked like a matching set with Ghost Spider's suit, and it played an internal BGM that made him feel like he'd wandered onto a Kamen Rider set. Chapter 5. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ye Li shot up from the rooftop. His suit's sensors and his spider sense immediately pinpointed the vulture robbing the bank. If he and Gwen weren't superpowered, this guy's fight with Kingpin would have gotten them killed, so, he needed to settle things with the vulture and Kingpin, one at a time. He followed the sonic boom and quickly arrived at the bank, but someone was already there. Ghost Spider, Gwen. He saw her already tangled with the vulture, she was still green and struggling. The vulture kept slicing her webs with his metal wings, and she was constantly having to rescue civilians. She was spread way too thin and close to getting hurt. Nosy Spider, the vulture's metal claws went for Gwen, missing her arm by inches. In a flash, a dark figure dropped from above. The vulture's rig sparked and crackled. Ye Li landed on him with a brutal stomp. The knight's power-up combined with his spider abilities wasn't just 1+1, it was exponential. It was Jessica's female knight template, multiplied by the Ghost Spider template. If Ye Li hadn't held back, he would have crushed the vulture. "Who's that?" The fleeing onlookers were shocked. Ghost Spider had made a name for herself recently, but who was this dark, armored Spider-Man? Was he her partner? Definitely not. Gwen was just as surprised to see someone suddenly stomp the vulture. Excuse me," she gathered her courage and approached him. "Thanks for helping me. Are you a superhero too?" She was also wondering why he was wearing a suit that looked like it was from the same line as hers. Ye Li activated his voice modulator and said in a deep voice, "You can call me Spider-Man." Yep, he shamelessly stole the name. Spider Dash. Gwen was speechless. Was this guy for real? Not only did he rip off her suit, now he was stealing her name. If he hadn't just saved her, she would have ripped into him. "You jerk." The vulture, still pinned, tried to assert himself. Ye Li ignored him and put more pressure on his foot, teaching the vulture a lesson in situational awareness. I was wrong. I surrender." The vulture felt his broken ribs grinding together. He ditched the tough guy act and started begging. "I'm taking him." Ye Li nodded to Ghost Spider, hooked the vulture with his foot, grabbed him, and took off. "Wait. Where are you taking him?" Ghost Spider called out, "You should hand him over to the police." "I'm not a vigilante." He shot off into the night sky with a sonic boom. "Hey!" Gwen threw her hands up in frustration, but she couldn't catch him. On the roof of an abandoned building, Ye Li dropped the injured vulture. Crossing his arms, he asked, "Where's Kingpin?" "Kingpin?" Tombs's mind raced. This guy was after Kingpin. He cursed Kingpin under his breath. The guy had really screwed him over. He filed that away for future vengeance. "Answer the question." The cold voice repeated. "Why are you looking for Kingpin?" The vulture's eyes darted around, trying to figure out what he wanted. If Ye Li was after Kingpin, he'd spill everything. "Just going to teach him a lesson about littering." Ye Li said casually, "Weirdo." Even the vulture wanted to roll his eyes. Kingpin was the king of the underworld. He was going to lecture him about littering. Did his family run the EPA? The vulture didn't realize that Ye Li thought he was the trash. He stalled. "If I tell you, will you let me go? My patience is wearing thin. Ye Li cracked his knuckles. Okay, I'll talk. You're such a hard ass. Vulture realized this guy wasn't like Spider-Woman at all. He was cold and ruthless. Kingpin and I have beef too. I'll help you find him. He wiped the blood from his mouth. Maybe after I heal up. So, you don't know where Kingpin is? Ye Li's mask seemed to glow menacingly. Then you're useless. No, I know, the Vulture blurted out, if you want to go now, I can give you a few places he hangs out. But we need to go soon. He knows I'm coming after him, so he'll be on the move. Ye Li silently memorized the locations, glanced at the Vulture, and turned to leave. Just then, a notification popped up, *, you have defeated Gwen Stacy's nemesis. As her relationship, choose one of the following rewards ****. 1. Monetary reward, $1 million, star. ***. 2. Random reward, Captain America collectible figure, star. ***. 3. Minion reward, transform Adrian Toomes into an absolutely loyal subordinate, ***. Chapter 6. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Is there some kind of prize for taking down supervillains? Wait a minute. I thought I was just supposed to be the superhero's sidekick. Shouldn't my job be to live a normal, powerless life, cheering on the heroes from the sidelines, providing a shoulder to lean on? This whole thing feels like I'm becoming a superhero myself. What gives? Ye Li, fresh from kicking the Vulture's butt, couldn't help but wonder. Imagine this, Iron Man's ready to suit up, and Pepper says, "Hey, Tony, I already handled the bad guys. Ditch the tin can and get back to work." Suddenly, it's Iron Woman. This extraordinary relationship account system seems a little off the rails. It's pushing me to take the lead way too much. Despite his grumbling, Ye Li still checked out the reward. Okay. It's like the difference between doing quests for NPCs in a video game and just grinding random monsters. The rewards for triggering Gwen's or others' quests were way better than what I get for actively hunting down trouble, $1 million. A lot for a regular person, but money isn't really his thing. A Captain America collectible figure. Coulson over at S.H.I.E.L.D. would probably dig it. The Vulture's absolute loyalty. Why would I need that crusty old dude's loyalty? I guess I could use another pair of hands. Lost in thought, Ye Li made his choice. Option 3. At least Toomes, being a former electrical engineer, is more useful than the other options. The Vulture, initially relieved, tensed up again when Ye Li stopped and turned around. You. Before the Vulture could finish his sentence, his mind started to fade. Then, he and his suit dissolved into a stream of data and vanished. What's this? Following the system's instructions, Ye Li tapped the console on his wrist-mounted suit. He watched the data stream coalesce, and the Vulture reappeared, suit intact. This wasn't what he expected. So, the absolute loyalty thing turns him into a summoned minion. A few days later, Ye Li sat at his laptop, browsing the internet. The Kingpin had changed his turf that night. He'd checked every spot the Vulture mentioned but found nothing, so, he decided to let it cool for a while and then mess with that crime boss later. When the opportunity arose, they hadn't even met, so he wasn't particularly invested in the feud. "Oh, you're checking out this story too, bro?" Jessica, slinging a small black purse over her shoulder, leaned over Ye Li's computer. "This Black Spider that showed up the other day looks a lot like Ghost Spider. I bet they're a thing or something." Ye Li sighed. He clearly called himself Spider-Man, so why was the media calling him Black Spider? "He's not Miles' little Black Spider," Jessica kept rambling, "but he's super mysterious. That supervillain Vulture who almost got us that day just disappeared. Some say the Black Spider took him out. Gwen told me her dad is really ticked off about it. He thinks criminals should be turned over to the police, and no one else has the right to." "Jessica, you're going to be late for school, and you don't want to screw up on your first day." Ye Li pointed to the black ring on his wrist, displaying the time. "Nice watch, by the way." Jessica playfully stroked his cheek and grinned before heading out. "Gotta run. Remember the party tonight." Gwen'll be there too. Don't worry, I'll be there. Ye Li waved goodbye. After Jessica left, he scanned the recent news. Stark isn't even Iron Man yet, and there are so few supervillains these days. He couldn't find any sign of Gwen's or Jessica's future enemies. Disappointed, Ye Li closed his laptop, giving up on the monster hunting plan. Instead of risking his neck fighting supervillains for chump change, he should just cozy up to a future superhero, do a simple quest, load up a template, and play the supportive role. Yeah, he's lazy like that. Maybe he got a little carried away showing off the last few years. Midtown High School. Gwen, are you okay? You seem down. Am I? Gwen pulled out a pocket mirror and smiled at her reflection. I'm fine. No frown lines here. It's your appetite. You've been eating like crazy lately, even for you. I heard people overeat when they're stressed, Jessica said seriously. Don't go overboard tonight at the party, or you'll ruin your figure. Gwen looked innocent. Fighting criminals is hard work, so why not eat more? Reading books on May Day is a joy. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP points. Grab a deposit now. Activity time, April 29th to May 3rd. Chapter 7. You are listening at novelfull.audio. But she couldn't bring herself to say it, guessing that Gwen might be bothered by something. Jessica said, Jess, you've seen those Black Spider reports, too. Because of them, your dad's not so keen on Ghost Spider anymore, right? What's that got to do with you? Jessica put her arm around Gwen's shoulders and teased, are you a Ghost Spider fan, too? A fan? Well, maybe. Gwen said reluctantly, a fan? How embarrassing, Gwen's a Ghost Spider fan, Jessica had an idea. She pulled out her phone and started texting her brother. Meanwhile, on Fifth Avenue in Manhattan, in a luxuriously decorated studio. Dr. Banner, it's not exactly convenient for me to come to the studio from home. Looking at his visitor, Ye Li said calmly, I usually only come in once or twice a week, so I hope you're serious. Do you really want to learn to paint for me? Yes. The person sitting in front of him was Bruce Banner, aka the Hulk. Even though he was confident he could handle the Hulk before he got too powerful, he was still worried the big green guy might show up and tear down the studio. That's why, after getting the message, he'd chosen to meet at his supposed workplace instead of his apartment. If it weren't for the system, Ye Li wouldn't want to be anywhere near the doctor. Honestly, he was starting to regret it. The Hulk template was cool, but it was a public nuisance. Even fully clothed, he'd still be green. And getting close to Banner meant the system would label him as Banner's special someone for ages. Without that baggage, Banner's mission wouldn't even trigger. Yes, Mr. Ye Li. Banner looked worn out. I've heard painting can be calming. I want to give it a shot. If you're emotionally unstable, maybe you should see a therapist, Ye Li said. Painting can be cathartic, sometimes. But it can also make you even more frustrated. Like Vincent van Gogh, for example. Everyone knows that story. Dr. Banner, do you need any more examples? Banner shook his head. I know it probably won't work. But I've tried everything to control my emotions. What's one more thing to try? You have nothing to lose. I might. Ye Li was about to say something when his phone buzzed. Only texts from Jessica triggered the alert, so he picked it up. It was a message from Jess. Lee, I'm starting a Ghost Spider fan club. Don't you like Ghost Spider? Can you help me draw a Ghost Spider poster? I'm announcing it at the party tonight. Gwen's also a Ghost Spider fan. I'm totally going to freak her out. I'm guessing she's going to be really shocked. Ye Li had to admire Jessica's scheming. Gwen, a Ghost Spider fan? That's interesting. He turned to the computer beside him, intrigued. For a big poster, he couldn't just draw it by hand. He'd need software. Banner, I'll do it, Ye Li said, while working the computer. You can be my assistant for now, until you feel like it's not helping. Banner smiled. Thank you, Mr. Yi. You're welcome. Free labor, might as well make the most of it. Back at Midtown High School, Gwen and the others were in class. The lecturer at the podium was a middle-aged man with one arm, named Curtis Connors. As a biology professor, he had unique insights and taught with ease. Gwen listened intently. She'd interned with Dr. Connors at Oscorp over the summer. Jessica, next to her, was distracted, still on her phone, replying to Ye Li's text. Ye Li, I've already finished the poster. I'll bring it over tonight. Jessica, wow, you're not being lazy for once, bro. Ye Li, I have a good helper here. He's a genius, and he's a fast learner. Jessica, thanks to your helper, and thanks, Li. I'll save the vice president spot for you in the club. Ye Li, wait a minute. Shouldn't you be in class right now? Jessica, Ye Li, put the phone down, Jessica. Looks like I need to have a talk with you. Crap, he's on to me. Jessica reluctantly put down her phone, figuring she'd be grounded when she got home. Gwen nudged her. Jessica, it's rare for Dr. Connors to lecture. You should listen. She tilted her chin and pointed to a boy in front of them. Look how closely Peter's listening. Ugh. Jessica pouted. That nerd had to try and save me when Thompson was bullying me. Chapter 8. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After class, Peter Parker rushed over to Dr. Connors. Dr. Connors. I didn't expect to see you here. This is awesome. He'd interned with Dr. Connors over the summer and even outperformed Gwen. Big time. Peter, I enjoyed having you, but I think there's been a misunderstanding. Connors smiled. I'm just lecturing occasionally. I'm still tied up with projects back at Osborn. That research? How's that been going? Peter perked up, always interested in Connors' work. Peter. Gwen approached. I don't think this is the place to be discussing Osborn's research. Hey, Gwen. Peter greeted her, suddenly shy. It's all right, Gwen. It's hardly a secret. Connors chuckled, picking up his briefcase. Transplanting lizard genes into people to regenerate limbs? Most people just laugh it off as crazy. If anyone can make it work, it's you, Dr. Connors, Gwen said encouragingly. Even though she didn't know the specifics of his research, she knew it wasn't some crackpot idea. After all, she'd seen crazy things happen. Peter added, yeah, doctor, I'd be happy to help out. Well, I should politely decline. Connors grinned. But actually, I think I could use your help. You're a bright kid, Peter. Apparently, regular Peter was smarter than Spider-Man Peter. Back at Osborn, he was more than just another student. He gave Connors advice that was actually helpful. My lab's always open to you. Connors gave Peter a meaningful look and turned to leave. Gwen called after him, Dr. Connors, there's a party tonight. You should come. That's a young person's game, Gwen. I'll pass. All right, take care. After Connors left, Gwen turned to Peter with a smile. Peter, you're not ditching the party tonight. There are going to be tons of girls there. I could even introduce you to someone. Peter had been her neighbor forever. She might not have romantic feelings for him, but she wanted him to be happy. Sure, Gwen. I'll be there. Peter bolted as if his life depended on it. Jessica emerged from behind Gwen. Gwen, there's a surprise in store at the party. A surprise? Later that night, the party was in full swing at Ye Li's Mtlnovel Manor. Jessica was one of the organizers, along with Harry Osborn, the son of the Osborn group. When Ye Li rolled up in his souped-up car, the party was already rocking. Let's see the look on Gwen's face when she sees this. He playfully grabbed a long poster and a couple of small gifts from the trunk before heading inside. Teacher. Even though Jessica didn't say anything, I knew you'd show up. Harry greeted Ye Li as he entered. Ye Li had tutored Harry in art for a while. Harry. Long time no see. Missing art class. Ye Li noticed that Harry was wearing a casual suit and seemed totally relaxed, apparently before the whole Green Goblin thing. Norman Osborn hasn't become the Green Goblin yet. Gotta beat him up sometime. Harry, blissfully unaware of Ye Li's plans for his dad, walked him inside. chatting. You know, besides classes, I'm learning how to run the company. No time for anything else. I'm no Peter, you know. I don't have his brains. Peter? Huh? Yeah, Peter. Why? Oh, nothing. Just, he's right there, and things aren't going so well. Ye Li pointed ahead. The party was happening inside the room. Outside, Peter, clutching his camera, was being blocked by a jock and his crew. Well, if it isn't Parker. Flash Thompson, the classic high school bully, sneered at Peter. What are you doing here, trash? This is a party, not a place for you. Point one of Flash's buddies in black piped up. We don't take out the garbage here. Flash waved him off. Why don't you just go home, loser? Or stick around and do my homework? I was invited to the party, Thompson. You can't do this. Peter was so mad he wanted to throw the camera at Thompson's head, but he held back, worried about the camera. Oh yeah? And who invited a loser like you? Thompson said with a grin. A lot of people. Gwen, Jessica, Harry, they all invited me. Yeah, Thompson. We both invited Peter. Harry stepped in, looking annoyed. You better get out of his way. Whatever. Always hiding behind someone else's skirts. Seeing one of the organizers come over, Thompson didn't want to cause trouble. He gave Peter one last taunt and stepped aside. Chapter 9. You are listening at novelfull.audio. But when he turned, he saw Ye Li smiling. Thompson, where do you think you're going? Ye Li nodded towards the manor entrance. Just so you know, the exit's that way. Huh? What's that supposed to mean? Thompson suddenly felt uneasy. What I mean is... Snap! Ye Li snapped his fingers. A few seconds later. Hey! You can't do this. Hello! Thompson yelled and flailed as two beefy guys in suits dragged him away. His crew got the same treatment. Alright, no need to waste any more time here. Ye Li held up the scroll, a mysterious smile playing on his lips. I've got a surprise for Gwen. Harry, he said, his expression softening as he looked at the poster, is this the new masterpiece you were talking about? For Gwen. Pretty much. Ye Li asked, where is Gwen, anyway? He figured Gwen wouldn't stand by while Peter was getting messed with. Jessica dragged Gwen up to a room on the second floor. Said she wanted to do something or other. Harry explained, hoping Peter wouldn't overthink it. Okay, I'll go find them. You guys take Peter inside. Ye Li gave Peter a pat on the shoulder. Peter, have fun. Don't sweat it. Okay, Peter mumbled, looking lost in thought. Ye Li didn't push it. Peter was a big boy, not a little girl. He'd let Harry take care of comforting his fragile heart. Hum-dee-dum. Ye Li slung the poster over his shoulder and headed upstairs, whistling a little tune. A tingle of his spider sense told him exactly which room Gwen and Jessica were in. Alright, room 201, here I come. Room 201. Gwen shivered as Jessica pressed against her. That familiar feeling was back. What's wrong, Gwen? Jessica stopped, concerned. Did I hurt you? She thought she might have been too rough. No, Jess. Gwen frowned, touching her chest. It's like those heart flutters I had the other day, but not as strong. It's kind of like, someone's plucking at my heartstrings. Really? Jessica looked skeptical. Didn't she check last time? She was starting to think Gwen just didn't want to get dressed. Plucking at your heartstrings? Please. She scoffed. You're going to tell me you imagined Lee coming to your rescue again? No. It's not. Gwen covered her face, embarrassed. Okay, so maybe she had thought about him. Jessica, convinced she'd caught her in a lie, sneered and got back to business. Gwen, stop fighting it. You can't escape me. I've got your heart. Oh no, Jessica, why do I have to wear this? You look amazing in it. Come on, put it on. You'll be the prettiest girl at the party. Don't you like Ghost Spider too? Come on, try it, just as Jessica was really getting into it. Ahem, Ye Li's voice came from outside the door. Hey. Jessica, you in there? I'm coming in, Jessica, Gwen, Oh man. Jessica glanced down at Gwen, a sly smile crept across her face. Come on in, bro. Be my guest, click, Ye Li unlocked the door and stepped inside. The sight before him left him speechless. It wasn't just Gwen's suggestive pose, half undressed, skin like snow, dewy eyes, golden hair falling around her face. Okay, maybe that had something to do with it, but more than that, why the heck was Gwen wearing the ghost spider suit? Had she been exposed? Jessica saw Ye Li gaping and assumed he'd fallen for the fake cosplay act. She smirked, put her hands on Gwen's shoulders, and pushed her forward. Look what I found, bro. Spider-Gwen. Gwen immediately denied it. I'm not. I didn't. Don't listen to her. She waved her hands, completely unconcerned about how much skin she was showing. Well, she didn't mind Ye Li seeing it. Anyway, Gwen's flawless skin was on full display, and Ye Li couldn't look away. He stroked his chin thoughtfully. I think we need to verify this. We need to verify it very carefully. Li, Jessica's picking on me. Gwen whined, pouting and reaching out to hug him. Naturally, Ye Li obliged, wrapping his arms around her soft body. Jessica, lay off Gwen. Hey. Jessica glared, puffing out her cheeks like a goldfish. Traitor. You forgot all about your sister as soon as you saw her. Chapter 10. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ye Li held Gwen with one arm and playfully pinched Jessica's nose. Don't even try it with me. We still need to discuss the phone thing. Whoops, total accident. I was zoning out and lost track of time. Jessica glanced at Gwen, who was clinging to Ye Li like a koala. I swear, I don't usually do that, right, Gwen? Gwen just blinked innocently, staying quiet. Gwen, you're getting me back for something. Jessica knew a grudge when she saw one. What's up with the outfit? Ye Li, looking at Gwen in her tempting uniform, couldn't resist a playful lick on her neck. You. Gwen playfully snuggled closer, acting all innocent. Jessica made me wear this, Li. You gotta punish her. She shot a mischievous look at Jessica. Spank her butt. Hey, that's not fair. Jessica knew she had to act fast, or she'd be on the receiving end of a mixed doubles beatdown. She darted behind Gwen and zipped up the back of her costume, and just like that, minus the mask, Ghost Spider was complete. He had to admit, the cosplay suit she found was pretty accurate. See, bro. Gwen looks just like her, right? Jessica held Gwen against Ye Li with one hand, then flashed a peace sign with the other beside Gwen's face. A sly smile crept across her face. Double the Gwen, double the fun. Jessica, what are you doing? Gwen was mortified. The current situation was, Ye Li was sitting on the edge of the bed with both girls practically in his lap. Gwen was facing him, pressed against Jessica, and Jessica was pressing in from behind Gwen. It was an interesting pose, to say the least. Double the fun, huh, Jessica? Ye Li wrapped his arm around both girls, a mischievous grin spreading across his face. I think adding you to the mix would be even more fun. He could easily span both girls' slender waists with one hand. Li, you can't. I'm your sister. Isn't it a brother's duty to teach his sister a lesson? Huh, smack, Ah. Way to go, Li. Gwen clapped her hands and cheered, friendship taking a nosedive, whack, star. Ow. Li, why did you hit me? Oops, my bad. Sorry, Gwen. A few minutes later, Jessica rubbed her backside, a resentful look in her eyes. She still got punished. Humph, she eyed the rolled-up poster on the table and reached for it. Let's see what this thing looks like. I got a spanking for this. The large poster was long when unfurled. Jessica was already pretty tall, but she still had to stretch her arms to fully display it. Oh, very nice. Guess I didn't get spanked for nothing. The poster depicted a neon-lit New York skyline, with a powerful silhouette swinging between buildings. Ye Li's edits made the black, white, and purple costume pop, and the dynamic pose was captivating. Beneath it, in a cool font, were the bold letters Ghost Spider. It wasn't exactly high art, but it definitely matched the Gen Z aesthetic. Perfect for recruiting members for a fan club. Ghost Spider poster. What are you planning? Gwen sensed something was up. Was she about to be forced into another cosplay gig? And a flashy poster like this? Was the theme of tonight's party superheroes? Jessica gave her a thumbs up and said excitedly, Gwen, I'm starting a Ghost Spider fan club. Big reveal tonight. Gwen stammered, huh? Downstairs, the party was reaching a fever pitch. Someone had noticed a temporary stage set up at the far end of the room. Encouraged, several socially awkward people took the initiative to perform on stage, hoping to attract the attention of some cute boys and girls. Robot dance, hip-hop, comedy skits, and beatbox rap brought the party atmosphere to a climax. One girl even wanted to do a striptease, but Harry shut that down, saying it was inappropriate. The guys in the audience were bummed and grumbled that Harry was a buzzkill, but Harry had Peter's best interests at heart. Peter was making awkward small talk with Mary Jane Watson from Jessica's band, and a striptease would have made things even weirder. Jessica, MJ, stop loitering outside and get backstage. Our performance is about to start. Mary Jane read the message on her phone, smiled at Peter, and stood up. Gotta bail, Peter. No problem. Peter watched Mary Jane walk away, slightly disappointed. A chubby guy took Mary Jane's place and sat down. Peter, looks like things aren't going so hot with MJ. But hey, on the bright side, Thompson got his butt kicked today, right? P.S. Anyone interested in Mary Jane?